Hey guys, today we're talking about something that seriously changed my life. I am trans. I have been transitioning for over 3.5 years now. Growing up, I always had pretty clear skin until I hit puberty, and then, I would break out just all along this area, which I believe is called the T area, T zone. I don't really know, but it's always just the worst. When I started testosterone, everything kind of just stayed the same. Once I hit 6 months on testosterone, that was when my acne really started to hit. About 9 months was the worst. So I had acne in places where I'd never had it before. So it was starting to creep up all over my forehead. And then I started getting it a lot more frequently under my nose. I started getting on my nose, and pretty soon I started getting it on my cheeks. I had never, ever gotten any kind of pimples or zits on my cheeks before. And then it started to develop into cystic acne, where you couldn't really see it. You could kind of see big bumps, but they weren't super noticeable, but I could feel them. And they were underneath the skin, and they were extremely painful. And then the acne started to move down to my chest, and it was really bad on my back. I had a lot of scars on my back for a long time. It started creeping down my arms and my legs, and that's kind of when I knew I needed to have someone look at this. I started getting really depressed because I didn't like going out in public. I didn't like people looking at me. I felt like everybody was watching me and everybody was looking at my acne and just focusing on that. You always think that someone's analyzing you, and really everybody's just kind of analyzing themselves. So I got really depressed, and it was painful for me to even sleep at night. I couldn't sleep on the sides of my face because the cystic acne hurt so bad. And then I was scarring. I was scarring so much that people actually thought that I was starting to grow a beard. They were like, "Oh, that looks like 5 o'clock shadows coming in." And I was like, no, those just happen to be my acne scars, but thanks. I tried everything to stop the acne, to prevent it. And when I say everything, I mean everything. Every kind of remedy. I tried every product. So I did some research. I found this medicine that was supposed to prevent you from basically having acne ever again. So this medicine is called Accutane, also known as Myorisan, isotretinoin. I took Myorisan. I believe it was the generic version of isotretinoin, which was also cheaper for me, and my insurance actually covered it. I went to a dermatologist. She looked at my skin, she looked at all of my acne, and was just like, "Yes, I highly recommend that you start taking Accutane." Accutane is a very powerful drug. It is very expensive, and unless you have insurance, you can look at paying about $300 to $400 a month for this prescription. I had insurance that covered most of it. I just needed to pay a copay every month, so that was a huge blessing for me. But that's something to keep in mind. Accutane is extremely expensive. You have to have dermatologist approval. You have to have a prescription given to you by a dermatologist. You also have to register online before they even allow you to start using Accutane. So I had to go online, and they send you to this website, and you have to read all of this information telling you the side effects, the risks, everything about Accutane and what it does and what to expect. It's extremely dangerous. You can't take it if you're planning on getting pregnant. It can cause a lot of birth defects. So it's an extremely powerful medicine. Accutane dries out your skin. Accutane even dries out your eyes. And it dries out your entire body. It doesn't just focus on your face or just the problem areas. It literally dries out everything. You get extremely dehydrated on Accutane, so you have to drink a lot of water. When I was prescribed Accutane, it took a month for me to be approved online, where I registered to even be able to start taking the medicine. During that first month, I was on antibiotics, and that actually really helped clear up a lot of my skin, and I finally started to get some sort of relief. It was amazing. Also, I did notice with the antibiotics, I did initially break out a little bit more when I started, and then I started to clear up. That's very common. Then I started the Accutane, and within the first month, I noticed that my skin was starting to get extremely dry. My nose started to flake, like the skin would just start to just flake off. So lotion was my absolute best friend. I had extremely dry lips. So I used something that was better than chapstick. That's Aquaphor. Aquaphor saved my lips. It's like, it's chapstick on steroids, pretty much. Also bloody noses, so I used a lot of Vaseline, put that in my nose at night before I went to bed, and that helped with the bloody noses. So I got the dry skin, then I started to get the dry joints. While I was on Accutane, I basically couldn't exercise like I was doing with high impact exercises. I couldn't run, I couldn't jump, I couldn't do things like that. It was very stressful on my knees and my joints, and so I noticed that my joints were pretty sore throughout the entire treatment process. I sunburned very easily, and my whole life I've never really ever sunburned. But while I was on Accutane, being outside for 5 minutes was... So I always had to wear sunscreen whenever I went outside, or I wore long sleeve shirts in the summertime. Yes, my timing was not the greatest. Also, I noticed that little nicks and cuts from work didn't heal very quickly. Wounds don't heal very quickly. One of the biggest reasons I think that that everyone who is on Accutane has to register online is because it causes suicidal thoughts. And the first month of me being on Accutane, I did have the suicidal thoughts. A lot of people don't make it through the whole treatment process because of this. After the first month, it just one day was just gone. It was just completely gone, and I was fine, and I was happy, and it was great. And so I went through the rest of my treatment process. I was on Accutane for about 3 months, and then I had to have emergency surgery. So I had to stop the Accutane because Accutane makes your skin very fragile, which means that it doesn't heal as quickly. So I had to stop shortly before surgery, and then I had to wait, I think it was like a month before I could start up again. Normally, the treatment process is 6 months, about 6 months. My treatment process was going to be 6 months, and because I had stopped halfway through, and the Accutane kind of left my system, I had to start all over again. So I started the treatment process over again, and just like the antibiotics, it's at first the acne gets kind of bad for a few weeks, and then it just started clearing away. I went through my 6 months of treatment, and my skin was completely clear. I still had the scars from always picking at my zits, but they have gradually faded away. I no longer have any acne scars on my face, on my back, on my chest, nowhere. I wish I would have taken a picture of my back so that you guys could see how bad it was. Accutane was a lifesaver. I no longer get acne. Sometimes here and there I might get like a small pimple, but if I do, I just kind of leave it alone. It goes away. It's gone the next day, completely gone the next day. But I rarely ever get a zit. I rarely get them anymore. It's amazing. Accutane, or isotretinoin, myorsan, is a derivative of vitamin A. Myorsan reduces the production of the skin's natural oil. What the Accutane actually did was it decreased the size of my sebaceous glands and also decreased the activity. So I stopped secreting oil. It also reduced inflammation, so stopped my face from turning all red. Accutane was a lifesaver for me. It worked for me. With the way that Accutane works, I most likely will never have to deal with acne ever again. The effects are permanent. I don't have dry skin anymore. My joints do get achy from time to time, and I've noticed that's usually when I'm not drinking water, so just stay hydrated. I don't have dry lips anymore. I definitely recommend Accutane to anyone who is struggling with severe acne, but do your research and talk to a dermatologist and make a plan before you decide, because like I said, the side effects are very intense and most of them are permanent. Can't really think of anything else, so I think I'm just gonna end it there, otherwise this is gonna turn into like a 30-minute video. Good luck in your endeavors. Please let me know if you have any other questions that you'd like answered. Maybe I'll make another video if that'll help. Again, comment down below for any ideas, videos that you guys want to see. I'm here to help. Be humble, be kind, be true. Take care, you guys. And thank you for watching.